Got it. You mentioned something. I was actually going to sort of dig into this a bit. Are there, you mentioned doing things that you think you'll continue to do. Are there things you're doing now that, you weren't doing before the pandemic that you're like, oh my God, why weren't we doing this before? And let's keep doing it, or things that you just discovered that you think makes sense to keep running from a marketing standpoint? And if so, what are those?
Yeah, I think every change that we made will continue to
Okay.
keep in place. For us, our marketing was running well before, but with all of the changes that happened, it sort of put a spotlight on some areas that we could improve in that we thought were operating okay before, but until that area exploded, we weren't able to really see, okay, this is an area we need to pay attention to, that TAL to MQL that I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
So yeah, bringing on some more tech, having stronger analytics on the campaigns that we're running, and having an incentives. I mentioned Syndoso before, are all areas that helped us improve and get back up to speed on where our benchmarks should have been if it wasn't so hard to get people on the phone. So yeah, we'll continue to do all of those. It ended up making the change. I know I don't speak for everyone, but it ended up making the change kind of fun for us because it pushed our team to be better marketers and grow in areas that we wouldn't have.
Yeah. How about you, Saverio? Are the things that Mizkan is doing now from a marketing and or sales standpoint, in having made those adjustments that you think will keep running once we get past the pandemic?
Yeah, Mark, it's a great question. I think right now we're at the very beginning of taking the learnings of what's happened over the last year, learning from it and applying it to where we need to go moving forward. So specifically, I'll speak to retail media. We look at my largest customers today, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Kroger, they are now becoming legitimate media partners. And we have to set ourselves up internally to make sure we have the right resources in place to best compete there, knowing that there's going to be some lasting behaviors that aren't going away. We know that online grocery pickup is going to continue to accelerate. It's going to continue to grow. And I think everything that took place last year just made it happen that much more quickly.
Yeah.
And again, caught us off guard a little bit, but now it's time. Now what we're in the process of doing is saying, okay, we have to view our retail partners as also an extension of our media, and the platforms that they're bringing to the table are very competitive, right? They're basically, they're competing with, whether it's from a Facebook, Google, Amazon perspective. Walmart just recently announced that they're now called Walmart Connect, and they partner with the Trade Desk, right? They're providing access to manufacturers with their first party data, so you can do better targeting, so you can really reach those consumers at different points. And we have to get better at that. We have to increase our expertise in that area to make sure that we're winning with those who traditionally were our physical retailers, right? Physical shelf retailers, and now it's becoming digital with them at such a rapid pace. And so, yes, it's changing how we think, resources we look at, who we work with moving forward, completely changing for us as we speak.
Do you feel that at the end of the day, that's going to be a better thing for a CPG marketer?
I do, and I think what's happening is,
why is that?
I think for us, what's happening is in our organization. So I have a heavy marketing background, and now I'm in this kind of fun role where I get to be in sales, but yet working closely with my marketing counterparts. And the reality is, it's becoming blended. It truly is, and I think we're all going to be better for it as we think about where to reach consumers and how to connect with them. It is becoming truly a blended funnel that's all over the place now. And, for us, it's those silos, traditional silos between sales and marketing are kind of going away. And you see our retailers as well. You see the merchant buyers, they're now coming to the table with e-commerce backgrounds, with e-commerce experience, in addition to the traditional buying experience. So the retail landscape is changing. And I think you're going to see more small, mid-sized companies like ours, I think, adapt to that. We have to adapt to that. So break down the walls between functions, and we're in the process of doing that. And I think it's going to be for the better, of our organization moving forward.
Cool, that's great. How about you, Ken? Have there been things you probably want to forget about the last 12 months, but are there things that you've done from a marketing standpoint during this last year that, sort of open your eyes to a new way of doing things, and, anything that you see continuing beyond the pandemic? And if so, what?
I think a lot of our shift has changed. Again, we were forced into adoption of a lot of technologies to get out of, consumer touch points. So we went to a fair amount of online ordering systems for our restaurants, a high level of adoption of our native app for whether it's keyless lock or mobile check-in or reservations for the casino. A fair amount of cardless play, the ability to use technology to play without your plastic. All of that will continue to have a much heavier adoption. That put our native app in the hands of more of our players than ever before. That means we have a new touch point. So whether it's through notification or whether it's in-game content, all of that's going to change. Nice. We've also got, as a result of, again, the benefit of fewer alternatives, a younger demographic than we've ever seen. Historically, casino gaming and high-end, even international travel, focuses on an older demographic because they've got more discretionary income. That means we tend to leave the 35 and under is not our heavy demographic. And we have a higher percentage of under 35 in casino, and not just us, all the casino gaming and resort than ever before. And how do you keep them engaged once they can go back to the theater and go back to a football game?
Yeah. Did that just happen organically, or was that purposeful? You guys?
It was organically, and then it became a focus of how do we engage them. And that came as a result of fewer options, a push for online gaming, both social and real money gaming, and just some additional content that we can provide digitally that an older player might not have ever wanted to engage with, somebody who's less digitally savvy. So it's just it's a confluence of a lot of things, but clearly, the younger we can get into somebody as a lifelong entertainment option, get them into our loyalty programs and become, customers for life. That's a good thing for us.
Yeah. That's great. Very cool.